Howie Roseman just pulled off the heist of the NFL offseason. He dumped one of the Eagles' biggest recent mistakes, saved millions in cap space, and may have just opened the door to the team's next massive move. But that's not all. Now, rumors are flying after a bold hint from a top NFL insider. What does it all mean for Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and the entire future of this team? Buckle up, because this changes everything. For weeks, Eagles fans were wondering what the front office would do with Bryce Huff. Many thought we were stuck, a bad contract, an underwhelming season, a player who never lived up to the hype. It looked like Philly would have to cut their losses, literally. But then, Howie Roseman struck, and just like that, the entire outlook changed. Boom, trade alert. ESPN's Adam Schefter just broke the news. Bryce Huff is headed to the San Francisco 49ers. The deal reunites Huff with his old Jets coach, now San Francisco's defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. And folks, this wasn't just a get-him-out-of-here move. This was a masterclass in damage control. Let's break it down. The Eagles declined Huff's ridiculous $15.58 million guaranteed option bonus. They flipped $9 million of that into a signing bonus. The 49ers now take on the rest, $7.95 million, which frees up major space for Philly. And guess what? That move creates over $15 million in cap space for 2025. Oh, and on top of that, Philly gets a mid-round draft pick in return. Let's call it what it is, a fleece, an absolute NFL-level robbery. Not only did the Eagles get rid of a mistake, but they saved a ton of money and snagged a draft asset. Meanwhile, San Francisco now pays premium money for a player who did nothing last season. That's the genius of Howie Roseman. Think about it. Huff was considered untradeable by many. He was too expensive, too unproductive. But Howie found the one guy in the league still willing to believe in him, Saleh, and turned a disaster into a win. Even if Huff somehow turns things around in San Fran, the Eagles already won. Because they opened up cap room, grabbed a pick, and moved on from a major roster mistake. And here's the wildest part. Even with Huff underperforming and James Bradberry's contract being a mistake too, this team still beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Roseman made some bad calls. He's human. But when his misses still end in a ring, that's next-level front office magic. And now, with Huff gone and cap space back on the table, you have to wonder, what's next for the Eagles? How do you feel about this move, Eagles fans? Was this Howie Roseman's smartest play yet? Drop a comment below and rate this trade from 1 to 10. And tell me, who should the Eagles go after next? Let's talk about it. The Birds are making big moves, and the next one might be even bigger. Rooster. Now that Howie Roseman has freed up a mountain of cap space by shipping out Bryce Huff, the question on everyone's mind is this. What's next? What's the move? Who's the target? With post-June 1st cuts and Huff's departure, the Eagles are now sitting on over $45 million in cap space. That's not pocket change. That's shake up the NFL money, and the rumors are already starting to swirl. Enter Kyle Pitts. According to insider Jordan Schultz, teams have been reaching out to the Falcons over the last few days, asking about the availability of tight end Kyle Pitts. He even said it would take at least a day 2 draft pick just to get Atlanta to start talking. Let's break this down. On the surface, Kyle Pitts might look like a risky trade target. He's been in the league for 3 years, and after a huge rookie year with over 1,000 yards, he never hit those highs again. Just 55 catches and 4 touchdowns combined in the last 2 seasons. Not great, but here's the flip side. The side that might be tempting Howie Roseman right now. He's a Philadelphia native. Coming home would mean something. The Eagles have a stockpile of day 2 picks in next year's draft. He's entering the final year of his rookie contract, meaning he's cheap right now and wouldn't be a long-term cap hit unless he proves himself. And most importantly, this team's tight end depth chart is wide open beyond this season. Yes, Dallas Goedert is still on the roster, but that's a short-term piece. The Eagles have no clear long-term solution at tight end. Pitts, if he pans out, could be that guy. A former top 5 pick with elite athleticism, mismatch potential, and sky-high upside. All he needs is a fresh start and a quarterback who can actually get him the ball. Can you imagine Pitts lining up in Philly's offense? Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Kyle Pitts. That's a nightmare for any defense. And if it doesn't work out, you move on. You spend a day 2 pick and some short-term money. That's it. Low risk, high reward. So what do you think, Eagles fans? Would you roll the dice on Kyle Pitts? Should Howie Roseman use that $45 million on a big-time weapon? Or save it for something else? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now and rate the idea from 1 to 10. How badly do you want Kyle Pitts in midnight green? And get ready, because this offseason might not be done just yet. Rooster, let's get real. Eagles fans, if this Bryce Huff trade was just the beginning, then buckle up, because Howie Roseman might not be done. Right now, with all that fresh cap space, names like Jalen Ramsey and Trey Hendrickson are suddenly on the radar. Yes, both of them bring major baggage, age, cost, injuries, and in Ramsey's case, a history with Vic Fangio that could make things awkward. But this is Howie Roseman we're talking about. The man lives for these moves. He just created the space to make something huge happen. If there's even a 5% chance that Howie is eyeing another big-time defender, don't blink. Even if they don't land Ramsey, I'm telling you right now, I still believe in Quinyon Mitchell as CB1. That's the guy. And guess what? He's already making headlines. Quinyon Mitchell ready to travel with WR1s? At this week's OTAS, reporters asked Quinyon if he's been playing both sides of the field. His answer, "Oh yeah, I've been working both. Just getting my feet wet." That might not sound like much, but if you read between the lines, it's a huge deal. Could this mean the Eagles are planning to let Quinyon Mitchell travel with the opposing team's best wide receivers? Could we finally be looking at a lockdown CB1 who follows the top guy wherever he lines up? We're not totally sure yet, but if it's true, this would be the next major step in Mitchell's evolution. Think about it. Right now, the other cornerback spot is wide open. It's a 3-way battle between Adoree Jackson, Kelee Ringo, and Isaiah Rodgers. If the Eagles have that much confidence in Mitchell, they might let the other guys choose their preferred side and just move Quinyon to wherever the WR1 is. All right, let's pump the brakes before we crown anybody. Yes, Adoree Jackson is running with the starters right now. Yes, he's getting more reps than Kelee Ringo. But before anyone hits the panic button, let's rewind to last year. Do you remember what happened with Nakobe Dean and Devin White? During all of last season's training camp and OTAs, it was Devin White running as the LB1. Day after day, week after week, White was the guy next to Zach Bond. Then what happened? Week 1 came. Devin was a scratch, Nakobe stepped in, dominated, and White never saw the field again. So yeah, let's not overreact just yet. Adoree might look like the favorite now, but this battle is far from over. OTAs are a sandbox. These reps are data collection, not a depth chart lock. So take everything with a grain of salt. Shady McCoy spills the beans, and Twitter explodes. And now it's time to talk about the most chaotic part of Eagles OTAs so far. And it didn't even come from the field. It came from LaShawn Shady McCoy, who just couldn't keep quiet on FS1's speak. Out of nowhere, Shady dropped a bomb. Players, tell me. The offense is really the offense. They don't care who the OC is. You come in here to fit the Jalen Hurts offense. And boom, the internet went nuts. Twitter exploded. Eagles Nation divided. Is that a bad thing? Is Hurts too powerful? Shouldn't the quarterback be the center of the offense? Let's take a step back here. The truth about the Jalen Hurts offense. Since day one, Eagles fans have known this truth. Jalen Hurts is the system. He's not the guy who fits into someone else's mold. He is the mold. You build the offense around his unique strengths, from his dynamic rushing ability to his underrated deep ball to his growing control at the line. That's why, over the years, the Eagles evolved from a ground-heavy battering ram to a balanced deadly air and ground threat. And that transition didn't just happen. It was built brick by brick around Jalen. So when Shady says the OC doesn't matter, that they're all there to fit the Jalen Hurts offense, it's not controversial. It's just reality. And honestly, it's smart. Name one great quarterback who wasn't surrounded by a system built just for them. Mahomes, tailored system. Lamar, custom-built scheme. Josh Allen, same thing. Hurts is no different. Shady should have kept quiet. Now here's the real issue. It's not what Shady said, it's how he said it and where. The guy clearly has inside info from players, likely people like A.J. Brown and other top Eagles. But when someone tells you something in confidence, you don't blast it on national TV the next day. Imagine being in that locker room and hearing Shady air your private conversations to the world. That's how trust gets broken. Josh Davis and I were actually told a private behind-the-scenes story about why C.J. Gardner-Johnson really left last season. We could have made it public and gotten a boatload of clicks, but we didn't, out of respect. So Shady, be smarter, man. There's a reason players stop talking when they can't trust who's listening. Kevin Patullo speaks, and it matters. Ironically, right after the firestorm, new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo held his first press conference, and he delivered exactly the kind of message this team needed. He said what smart fans already knew. The Eagles will run whatever system fits their players best. We ask, what do our players do best? Then we build around it. We expand from there. That's it. That's the core. He talked about adding new layers to the offense, new ideas from a refreshed coaching staff, while still keeping the playbook true to what made the Eagles dangerous in the first place. And that's the best possible news. So let's talk about it. Eagles fans, it's time to speak your mind. Do you think Jalen Hurts having his offense is a problem or a power move? Do you trust Kevin Patullo to keep this unit elite? And what do you make of Shady McCoy spilling the locker room tea live on TV? Sound off in the comments. Let's settle this. One fan base, one voice, because one thing's for sure. The Eagles offense is about to make a statement in 2025, and it all starts with the man behind center. Let's set the record straight right now. As long as Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, the offense is always going to come with some controversy. Why? Simple, because this team is loaded. You've got A.J. Brown, you've got Saquon Barkley, you've got Devonta Smith. Weapons on weapons on weapons. And with that much star power, with that much firepower, every time this team stumbles, the spotlight burns even hotter. The Hurts can't run an offense talk is lazy. Now look, there's been a ridiculous narrative floating around that somehow Jalen Hurts is the problem, that he either wants too much control or can't run someone else's offense, or doesn't fit into what new coaches want. Let me just say this loud and clear, that is nonsense. The Eagles literally just won a Super Bowl with this quarterback. He's proven, he's battled, he's evolved every single year. And now, just because a few OTA throws didn't go viral, or because Shady McCoy let something slip on TV, people want to throw Hurts under the bus? No way. This isn't a brand new offense. It's a rebuild. Let's stop acting like Kevin Patullo is coming in and flipping the entire playbook upside down. He's not. This isn't a teardown. This is a rebuild, a refresh, a get back to what works strategy. Patullo himself said it. This offense is being built around what the players do best. That means leaning into what Hurts thrives at, enhancing the weapons and mixing in a few new wrinkles, not reinventing the entire wheel. So let's all breathe and judge this offense when it hits the field in real action. Not in t-shirts and shorts at OTAs. Next practices, what to watch today, marked day 3 of Eagles OTAs. But it was a closed practice. No reporters, no film, no highlight reels, just work. The good news? We're getting 2 more practices next week, and one of them is open to the media. That's when we'll get the real stories. Who's starting where? Who's flashing? Who's struggling? That's the one to circle. That's the one where we start to see this team take shape. Signed football giveaway, unique and rare. Oh, and for all the loyal fans out there, here's a fun one. We're giving away an autographed Eagles football, and this one's special. Not only is it signed by Jordan Davis, it's signed by him twice. Yeah, apparently he didn't realize he'd already put his name on it and hit it again. That makes this ball one of a kind. It's also got Nakobe Dean and Nolan Smith on there too. So it's basically a Georgia Bulldogs Eagles collector's dream. If you commented on either of the last 2 shows, you're already in the running, and I'll be announcing the winner Monday or Tuesday at the latest, so stay tuned. So before we wrap up, here's what I want from you. Drop a comment. Is the Hurts controversy real or just overhyped offseason noise? What do you expect from this new-look Eagles offense under Patullo? And who do you think is the X factor that will determine how far this offense flies in 2025? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications because next week's practices are going to tell us everything we need to know. This is going to be one wild season, and you're not going to want to miss a second of it.